Best of R / Tales from Retail episode 108. Subscribe for Reddit videos daily. At work today, I was on the door making sure we didn't have too many people in the store. SC tries to walk out of the entrance. The store is one way, even though the entrance and exit are next to each other. Me, you need to go out of the exit door. It's just there. SC, but my dog is there. It is, approx 5 meters, nearer. Can I not go out this door? Me, due to social distancing. No, sorry. SC, you sure? Me, yes. SC, well how about I just punch you in the face? B, me, hands in pockets, black belt in karate. You do know that you are being filmed by about 5 cameras, yeah? If anything happens we will give the police the video of you harassing and then striking an employee. Camera. SC, walks out. Camera. Thank you. Next. So, the store I work at is currently closed to the public because of a shelter-in-place order. We aren't deemed essential, so in our downtime, we've been getting lots of projects done, such as cleaning the floors, and other prep work for when we reopen. On Tuesday, my supervisor and I are busy breaking down a table, so we can start putting our summer merchandise out, when we hear someone pounding on the front door. She goes over to the door, and asks what he needs. The guy says he needs a pillbox for his father's medication. Since the store is closed, and it's only the two of us working, we tell him it's okay to come in and purchase said item. We direct him back to our health and beauty section, and decide to just go up front to the register to take a break. A few minutes later, the guy approaches the register, not with a pillbox, but 4 beer mugs. Guy, I can't find a price for these. Can you cut me a break? My manager, this isn't what I'll let you in for. Guy, I changed my mind. So what will you take for the mugs? Manager, well, they each have price tags on the bottom. The guy looks at the mug, sees that they're almost $3 each because they're the thick, heavy glass ones, and practically shoves them over the counter. He then blows up, yelling that he didn't want them in the first place, and storms out. I grab the front door key, and lock the door. My manager and I go back to working on the merchandising when 10 minutes later, there's banging on the door again. It's the same guy. We just ignored him, and carried on with our work. He stands there, giving us the stinky for a few more moments, before finally getting in his car and leaving. If this is how people are going to behave when we eventually do open back up, it's going to be one hell of a summer. Thank you. Next. Hey, all. You may remember my post from last week about that guy who got away with $2K. This happened not even 3 days later. So, like I said in my previous post, I'm a closing cashier most days, with a few days where I'm in the aisles helping throw freight here and there. Today was another cashier day, and it was right after my day off. The shift was going fine and all, not that many rude customers. A couple of times where I was pulled from the register to help move some stuff, the works. Then it happened. Enter Kevin, not his real name. Kevin seemed normal enough, nothing weird about him. He came to me with an armful of items and asked where the milk was. I pointed him to the dairy section and he just kinda left his stuff on my conveyor belt and walked like he didn't have a bunch of items on my belt. I think to myself, okay, a little weird, but whatever. He should be back soon. 5 minutes and a couple customers later, he finally comes up with another armful of things, not including the milk. Me, sir? Did you find the milk okay? Kevin, oh, darn it. I got distracted. Hold on. Another 5 minutes go by, and he finally gets a jug of milk. The transaction goes like normal. He pays and he gets ready to leave. Me, did you want me to grab a cart for you, sir? That seems like a lot of stuff to carry. Kevin, nah, I got it. Grabs everything but the milk, which he saved for last. I legit thought to myself the second before this happens, I sure hope he doesn't drop it. Well, boy, lem tell ya. He drops it. From his arms to the floor. The jug cracked on both sides, so even if the other cashier I had in front of me was plugging one hole, the other would just be a milky waterfall. We panic and toss it in her trash can and call for a wet cleanup. Now, usually if someone damages an item in store that they already bought, we'll replace it for them. They already paid anyways. However, I was in so much shock from the sheer amount of milk that ended up on the floor, on my pose station, and even going into my co-worker's pose, that he ended up buying another jug. So he goes to get it while I'm trying to get as much milk up as I possibly can without a mop until a courtesy clerk shows up, and he goes into my line. The one with the dairy flash flood that would make Noah's Ark blush. So now he's got more of a mess since he's leaving boot prints everywhere in the front, and he's bought another jug of milk. I didn't care. I just wanted him out of there so I could get this cleaned. It took us about a half an hour to get all of the milk out of wherever it all went to. The manager saw all this and she let me take my last 10 minutes early. The only sort of ending I have to this story is that a couple days later, I was in the aisles with the courtesy clerk that helped me clean it all up, basically just helping set up spots to put the new product in, and Kevin's back. He recognized me, and immediately apologized. I wasn't mad or anything at him, it was just a whole sequence of events that kinda overwhelmed me at the time. I said it was fine and I was glad to help him out, and he went on his way. So, basically I'm gonna have numb flashbacks whenever I see a gallon of 2% in my fridge, lol. Thank you. Next. So I work at a DIY store and it was a busy Saturday, about mid-afternoon. A gentleman came to my till already looking annoyed, so I tried to limit conversation with him. He placed a bar seal on the belt. I scanned it. It came up as £17. Simple, right? No, he was saying I was wrong. The till was wrong and it was £14. Well, I had previously worked in that department and no, it was not £14. However, I called a colleague that was from that department to check the price with the till landline. I've got a customer here who has a bar seal. He says it's £14 but it's coming up as £17. Could you please check this for me, and gave my colleague the barcode. Well, it was busy and loud so I had to repeat myself. This is where the man started shouting at me, not for not believing him or having to call a colleague, but because I said he said, not the customer said. Now I was in shock, so I stood there with my colleague still on the phone. He was shouting how bad my customer service skills were, how he should have it for £14 and then decide to pick up the bar seal, throw it at me and storm out shouting he will take his business elsewhere. My manager, the colleague and that colleague's manager came straight to me to see what had gone on. He returned into the store and spoke to customer services to complain and started shouting at my colleague that was working there, and also called up after he drove off, to which my manager hung up on him after he called me a effing wench. He got banned from our store. Thank you. Next. At my store we don't charge for plastic bags, but we ask the customer if they want one, and we keep track to see how many people are using them because most other places charge for them. A man comes up with an armful of many small items. I ask if he wants a bag. He says number. We get to the end of the transaction. Then his wife comes up. What? No bag? You've got to be kidding me. Very angry, loud voice. I'm stunned. Husband is stunned. And she's giving me the dirtiest look. I muster the cheeriest voice I can and say I'm sorry. I asked him if he wanted a bag and he said no. Oh, well, I would like a bag please, still pissed sounding. I bag up their stuff and pray they never come back. The guy was really nice too. Thank you. Next. This happened a few hours ago. My boss had came back from shopping for the gas center. We were enjoying some cheese and crackers in the back. We could still see as anyone is coming to the window. This lady comes up to the window with a 20, I assume for gas or a pack of cigarettes or something. Can I get $18 on pump 12? She asks. Normally people who get $20 and then if it doesn't take it all, just come back to the window for their change. So I'm slightly surprised. I set it up and give her the $2 of change that is owed. She takes the $2 and goes to pump her gas. It's not that busy, so I go in the back and continue eating the cheese and crackers that my boss had brought before she had came back down to the gas station. A few minutes later, she comes back to the window. She is getting $5.50 back. I gave her the money and then she just looks at me confused. I pumped $12.50. I think you owe me $2 more. I mentally sighed before replying, you said $18 on pump and gave me a 20. I gave you the $2 before you had pumped your gas, ma'am. My boss by then was printing out her receipt on the cashier register. We even did $18.12.50 on the freaking calculator. It came out to be $5.50. You owe me $2. I only pumped $12.50. This time my boss stepped in and told her mom, she already gave you the $2 before you pumped gas. My boss handed the receipt to the lady and the lady even had the audacity to say, never mind, don't worry about it before leaving. My boss and I had a good laugh about it. My boss said the machine wouldn't be wrong. Maybe she needs to go back to school. Thank you. Next. This story is from when I worked at a grocery store that I am no longer with. I was having a rather boring day at work, restocking paper products and tending the registers. Not a lot of traffic. This very sweet older lady comes in. She held out her empty box and asked where she could find this brand of trash bags. I have seen this brand but can't think of at what store. We looked in my store. No trash bags by this brand. She insists she bought it here. I look at the box, even scan it to see if it's a product we carry. It's not. Then I see it, on the back by the barcode it said the name of a nearby hardware store. It was their brand of trash bags. She apologized for taking up so much of my time, but as I told her, she was a pleasure to help. I told her that anytime she needs help, I'm always more than glad to help her find anything. I wish all customers were that sweet.